What is happening, my good people? Greetings. How are you? How's it going? How's everybody doing out there? What is the latest and greatest? Hope everybody's doing well, feeling fantastic, and excellent spirits here on another Wednesday live stream as we start counting down to an NFL season which begins in 1, 2, 3 weeks from tonight. We'll get to the NFL momentarily, but first off, today, the 19th, where we meet every Wednesday and have done so since, I believe, February of last year. Thanks to you guys and gals. Much appreciate you all. And I want to start off by saying my apologies. I know I had set the time for 11 a.m. today, which for whatever the reason, I don't know why. I guess I had podcasts on the brain, which is, we all know that's 11 a.m., but today's a live stream, so it's high noon, unless you're 11 a.m. Central Time. But my apologies there for those who I know who had chatted in the room, which I'll get to some of the comments momentarily. That's number one. Number two, before I even get to, you know what, let's get to it right now real quick. You guys and gals know what the deal is. But for anybody that's here for the first time and is new, share your thoughts in the chat room. I'll post on screen. We'll banter back and forth. This is your chance to get at me. Not to say you can't get at me on the podcast days from Monday and Thursdays, but even more so today, it's a lot more interactive. I'll throw some topics at you. We'll go back and forth, or whatever it is that's on your mind when it comes to sports. Please share it, and I'll be more than happy to post and follow up. And then, of course, even if you're watching a replay, you probably say to yourself, well, why am I going to leave a comment? You can, because I can follow up even if you watch this tonight, tomorrow, or if you're watching this. I can't say if you watch this tonight, because for those who are here now, will you rewatch it again? If you do, I appreciate that. But with that being said, leave a comment, and I'll be more than happy to respond. All right, before I get to the comments and get this live stream on its tracks, you guys, I'm asking for some prayers. One seriously, one not so seriously. The serious part, and although everything should be fine, but I go for my annual physical today at 3 p.m. So this is going to be a tidy 2 hours and 15 minutes tops, so I can get to my appointment at 3 o'clock. I'm, cheers, by the way. I'm drinking H2O, just straight H2O, because I got to get my blood drawn for my cholesterol. And here's two things, especially for my guys out there, and women too. There are two things that you need to get checked when it comes to your blood, and you got to make sure you fast. Obviously, I haven't eaten since last night, and you know I normally fast anyway. So, two things. Lipoprotein A, so LiPO and then protein A, that will be able to detect the sticky cholesterol that's in your arteries. And if you have a low score, you're great. I think if it's anything over 80, watch out. So you may get your cholesterol drawn and all that, and it's great, but your lipoprotein A, number one. And the other thing is your C-reactive protein. C-reactive protein is another detector of clogged arteries, of a calcified heart, or calcified arteries when it comes to your heart. Now, there's also CACS, which is a calcified artery CAT scan. And here I am sounding like a physician here, but this is just based on experience. Those are two of the things. If you want to even not write it down or type it in, but go back and watch this later on and make sure you get that. Because when you go for your annual physical, people don't think that, I'm just going to get my blood drawn. Oh, my cholesterol is 250 or that. And that's important. But there are two other markers that are important in the lipid panel that people don't even know about. And those are the two that you got to check out. C-reactive protein, lipoprotein A, sticky cholesterol for the lipoprotein A, and calcified arteries for the C-reactive protein. The lower the score, the better. And also get your prostate checked too. It can also do by blood. And my prostate is good, thank God. It's below, you have to be below, I think, 4. Anything higher than that, you got to watch out. Last time I checked, I think it was at 0.4. So we got that going on. And the other thing is, and that, everything should be good. You know me and how I take care of myself, but you never know. As we get older, things happen, and I just want to share that with you guys and gals for starters. Number two, and this is where they pray for me on the funny side. As I look to my left and my right. Oh. Of course, you know Kismet, who right there, she's chewing on one of her stuffed animal toys. But I'm also dog sitting a Yorkie who's 3 years old and is as skittish as it comes. And she's beautiful. She goes by the name of Blue. She's sitting on the sofa right now. Maybe she knows, like, oh, I probably need to shut up, because just as we were ready to start, she had her paws on me to say, hey, pay attention to me. cute dog. I mean, it's a Yorkie, but they're also very high strung. And we also had dog sat another Yorkie by the name of Rufio. Shout out to you, Rufio. And also to Sarah Bentham. Got to give her a shout out. Where, yeah, he's another one that's high anxiety. So between today, tomorrow, and not only that, we're going to have this dog for 2 weeks. So if you hear any barking in the background, if you hear any commotion, hopefully nobody knocks on the door, Amazon, I don't think anybody's going to deliver any packages, but you're at next door and across the hall. So who knows? If you hear dogs getting set off, it's not just Kismet, it's also Blue. So now I got that out of the way, let's get to your comments. And I know these comments go back from the early in the previous hour. Bio, I know Waffle Iron, a.k.a. shout out to Waffle Iron, of course. That is Tatsuya Mai, Rhoda Penmark, Minnesota Fats, Kai Bowie Bull, Dad's Chips, Everyday Mets, Jonathan Sean Cup. Kyle Tucker will be all right. What? And his comment got cut off here. Waffle Iron, that is. Where he said that the Dodgers should probably sit Kyle Tucker. He dropped another fly ball last night. I don't know. He's all of a sudden getting the yips. Is the Steve Sachs gene now seeping into a one Kyle Tucker, knowing that he makes $60 million a year? He's underachieved beyond belief. And think about this. If he was a Met this year with those numbers, he would have gotten slaughtered. The GM probably would have gotten fired. And the owner would have a lot to say about that. Or probably nothing to say, but a lot to answer to. As we know with the owner and the GM of the Mets. But, yeah, Michael Conforto, a former Met, I might add. And Diaz should be put on the IL. I know, Bio, you reached out to me in reference to that, where, yeah, he's had a nightmare season. And then I know, Waffle Iron, I know I'm never late. I set it for 11 a.m. That's my problem. My bad. Val, you're depressed. Giants 74. I know. What are you going to do? As long as you're depressed as a fan. As far as life, I hope everything's all right. You're doing your thing. But as a fan, we could all be depressed. Especially with the way our teams have performed. I know J-Rod, and J-Rod, of course, follows up. I see it now, changes to 11 to 12. My bad, my apologies. And this is me even responding to that. So just doing a little back check. Rank my list of teams, weight of the jersey, heaviest in sports. Now, the funny thing is you said heaviest in sports, but you put baseball teams there. And is that Kiss behind me? Yeah, she's got her choice. She thinks we're going to play right now. That is not happening. Yeah, that's accurate. And you would probably say you could even flip-flop Yankees-Dodgers. Only because the Yankees haven't won since 2009. But Dodgers, I get it, weight of the world with all the players. We've been through it a million times. But yeah, I could see, you could put Dodgers 1 based on that and the expectation level. Yankees, Mets, Red Sox, Phillies, Cubs. Yeah, I think that's excellent. I know I followed up with that. But if you're talking about sports overall, you got to throw in the Cowboys. You got to throw in the Lakers because those are teams that are always talked about. I know people can say, what about the Celtics, Jay Reels? They're one of the cornerstone franchises in the NBA, but they don't get they've gotten it more so in the last few years and even more so this past year with the Jaylen Brown trade. But they're not as magnified as the Lakers are because the Lakers, LA, Tinseltown, Showtime, Lake Show, we know the stars that have been through there. With the Celtics, they've had their lows. Lakers haven't had many lows. I understand maybe mid to 20 teens after Kobe left, and especially between 2010 and 2020 when they had gone 10 years without winning a title. So, yeah, now my Kismet's over there just doing something. Yeah, so you got to throw them in. And the Maple Leafs, I get it. That's a little bit below the Cowboys and Lakers, but you go to Canada, especially Toronto, it's all about the Maple Leafs. Canadians, too. You got to throw the Canadians in there also because they haven't won a cup in now 33 years. But the Leafs, as you all know, they haven't won in 60-some-odd years. No, it's a lie. 67. It's about to be. It's 59 years. And to a lesser degree, the Buffalo Bills, based on the 4 Super Bowls, Josh Allen, etc. Oh, look at this. Ankle bursitis. Philly. Greetings, man. Welcome. Bio. Greetings. Welcome back. I wonder if the WNBA see on the men's Spencer. Yeah, I'll touch on this later on. I haven't really been, dialed in. I know I should be, and it's a terrible job on my part. With all that's going on in the WNBA over the last really couple of years since Caitlin Clark has been in the league. And she's been a lightning rod for controversy, whether she's looked for it or not. But I'll touch on a little bit of this later on, Waffle Line. I'll get back to this. Jimmy's doing their sells, the media. Yeah, and listen, I'm sure those in the WNBA, they're loving all this. Now, it's not great publicity, and it's not attention that they want. They want more of competitiveness and more of it being about the teams and the players as opposed to players being singled out or teams being singled out. Now, if you want to have a villain, that's fine, but it's more stuff about things that are happening off the court. And yeah, it has like a WWE mentality on the court, which to me, I don't think that's going to, I don't want to say it's not going to bode well, but it's become a bit of a mockery in my eyes. But again, I'm not dialed in. I'm the worst person to ask. If I was dialed in day out, like the NBA, football, hockey, even the tennis and the golf when it comes to the majors, that's a different story. So, right, I'm the wrong person to ask, and you know me. Transparency, hand raised high in the air. But, yeah, WNBA, listen, I guess any publicity is good publicity. And even if it is negative. Did you see A.J. Brown, Patriots, Eagles joint practices? That's a good question. I'm surprised that they could live stream them in this day and age. Well, I guess because they are scrimmages, so that they feel like, But you know what? Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if that's going to be a situation where somewhere down the road they're going to have to start streaming it because people can't get enough of the NFL, which, stand by for that. Dog, yeah, exactly. Kids is laying here with a ball. Blues over there on the sofa. I tell you guys, pray for me. My grandma had 2 Yorkies. They both hated me. Oh, really, Jay? Oh, geez. Oh, Chosen. I appreciate that. Now, that was last year. I'm going to go for my test later today, which I'll get I'll get it drawn today. I should probably know by Friday. Val agrees the playoffs. Yes, they did, and they've had a great year. They've had an excellent year. Good for you, Val. Great to hear. Ray, my man, what's up with you? Hope all is well. Waffle Line. Oh, jeez, I know. Oh, yeah, what a disaster. Hello, Toy Brother Jay in chat. Yeah. I tell you. Chosen, good to see you, man. Something like Kathy. Yeah, Kathy Engelberg, that's the WNBA commissioner. Yeah, and who knows? I think it's time for her to leave. She needs to be on her way out. But Adam Silver's her boss, and Adam Silver, I don't know. Is that something he's going to want to do? Who knows? We shall see. All right. Now, let's get to it. I said this, and I won't even put the banner up just yet. Hold on, because I want to have a little bit of suspense here. And not that it's anything crazy or shocking or anything like that. And I'll get to your comments on Waffle Line. I'll get to that WNBA comment a little bit later on. For those who have watched me and followed me, whether my day ones or if today's your first day, we know how powerful the NFL is. And listen, I don't know if there's going to be a day, and there possibly could be a day. Could be. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. But for me to divorce myself from the NFL is going to be hard. I've been watching the NFL since the mid-'70s. In fact, the first football game that I watched was the AFC Championship game, 1976 season. Steelers in Oakland, where they lost. Remember, they didn't have Franco. They didn't have Rocky Bleier. They were decimated by injury. And it was about time that the Raiders finally beaten the Steelers in a big spot because they hadn't done so in the years prior. Immaculate reception, the 74 AFC Championship game, 75. Oh, no, 74 was the divisional round. 75 AFC Championship game. And the list goes on. So when I go back to that time, and even the following year, I never forget, on a Saturday, Christmas Eve, goes to the Post, where Ken Stabler to Dave Casper in Baltimore, Old Memorial Stadium. I'm not going to go through every game, people, but that's how far back I go with the NFL. To NFL Review and Preview, Harry Callis and Steve Sable, the both dearly departed. Inside the NFL, in its early days, HBO, Nick Bonacani, Len Dawson, dearly departed. Leading up through the 80s, NFL Today in the 70s, You Are Looking Live, Brent Musburger, Jimmy the Greek, dearly departed. Phyllis George, dearly departed. Irv Cross, dearly departed. That's how far back I go with the NFL. So I love it. And as we all know, just like anything in life, and I 1,000% understand that things evolve for the better, maybe even for the worse. We've seen how the NFL has been enormous here over the last, even more so. I'd say 30 plus years since the advent of direct TV Sunday Ticket and how that just became a boom mid-90s into the 2000s. I had direct TV. I had the direct TV Sunday Ticket from 2001 to 2017. And we know about Red Zone, etc. So for those out there who are going to think, Jay Reels, you shouldn't even be talking about this. Jay Reels pipe down. Jay Reels shut up. Jay Reels this, Jay Reels that, whatever. Because with everything that I just said, and you know how I feel about what has happened, and not just with the NFL, but all sports, with streaming, with trying to find these games, but the NFL even more so, because to me, the NFL has lost a lot, not a little, a lot of its charm because of the way the NFL has just blew up its own sport by having a Wednesday night season opener, a Thursday night game in Australia, your Sunday schedule, which to me, Sunday at 1 is NFL football. Not Wednesday at 8:20, not Thursday night at 8:15, not even Sunday night. And I understand Sunday night's been around since the mid-'80s, starting on ESPN. And then it went to TNT. That's right, the NFL was on TNT at one point, for those who know. So, and Monday night is Monday night, although it's not as special as it once was because of everything I talked about. But now, as we bring this up, 2 days ago, the commissioner had come out to say, by the way, from a German, I believe it was a German news station or German channel, whatever it was, when asked, does he see the NFL expanding outside of the U.S.? And he said, in that quote you see there, no doubt. Now, this could mean a lot of things. And obviously, I'm not privy to any of it. This is just speculation. This is somebody that, as a podcaster, on-air personality, whatever you want to call me, we have the right to try to decipher and digest what was said by Roger Goodell. And I can even bring up the quotes for those who didn't see what happened. And in fact, funny enough, Sophie Cunningham had something to say, which I'll get to later on. Roger Goodell, and I'm going to put up quotes here. All right, so I'm not speaking out of context or out of school or Jay Reels, where'd you come up with this, blah, blah, blah. Goodell offered his insights on NFL international growth during a recent interview with German media outlet RTL/NTV, whatever that is. Quote, at some point there will be NFL teams outside the USA. I have no doubt that this will happen one day. Now, the league's growing international profiles led to questions about whether a Super Bowl eventually will be played on foreign soil. Peter O'Reilly, the NFL's executive vice president of club business in the National League event, said in May that an international Super Bowl is not a front burner issue as of now. Okay? Goodell did say that if an NFL team has a permanent location in an international city, that site could potentially serve as a Super Bowl host. There are definitely, quote, there are definitely international cities that could host something like that, but we would like to see an NFL team in such a city first. NFL voted early this year to play as many as 10 international games starting next year. I believe they're playing 8 or 9 this year. And they want to expand it to 16, as we talked about many moons ago. The league also voted to strip teams' ability to protect any home games from international play. Because remember, they have the imbalance where they flip-flop. This year, the NFC has 9 home games because you have a 17-game season, which to me is just asinine, as you know. And, as a matter of fact, the 2026 schedule features 9 international games, 8 league-run games at a London game as part of an agreement with Jacksonville. As we all know, Jacksonville plays one of their home games in London. All right, now let's unpack this. For starters, is this going to happen anytime soon? As Roger Goodell stated, I'm sure he'd like to see it. But what does this entail? Does this entail expansion? It has to be. What is the NFL looking for? Are they looking to expand to 36 teams? Are they looking to expand to even more than that? Because they can't expand one. Well, all of a sudden, Jacksonville, they're going to be now London's team and move to London permanently. They're making renovations on their stadium as we speak. So that's not part of the equation. At least I don't think. I'm sure they're going to start off with 2 teams, but you would think they're going to expand 36. Who knows? Now, I'll be fair to say that if they were going to expand outside the U.S., they're probably going to have a team in Mexico and a team in Canada. Now, my thing is, and the NFL doesn't care because, they're the Shield. They could do anything in strong arm and bulldoze any plan that any other league has in mind. But there is the CFL. And I believe there is, on the Toronto Argonauts there. I was talking about the CFL the other day. So let's look that up real quick. Yeah. The Toronto Argonauts are a Canadian football team, and they already started their season. And I believe it ends in November with the Grey Cup, as you know. But will the NFL have a team in Toronto? Because that would be their first foray into expanding outside of the U.S. Because obviously the proximity from those 2 cities, Toronto is an hour from Buffalo. And if they're going to have a team in Mexico City, for those, especially if they're going to play, I'm just throwing out the AFC or NFC West, it's not that bad of a flight to go from LA to Mexico City, Arizona, Mexico City. I get it. If you're in Seattle, it's a long flight. In San Francisco, but still. Now, I believe that's where they will start. I don't have any, one more time, I don't have any inkling or inside information, none of it. This is just me speculating from afar. But because of these international games, they're going to want to expand and have a team in London. I would think they're going to want to have a team in Germany, maybe in Brazil. They're not going to go Australia. That's just way too far. They can't do that. They're going to have teams that are somewhat close to the continental or just to North America overall. Because if they're going to put Mexico and let's say somewhere in Canada, I'm just going to say Toronto for now, as destinations for the NFL to expand, fine. But I'm sure London, I would think Ireland, I would think the UK, just those 2 towns, London and let's say Dublin, for instance. Do they put a team in Spain? They're going to have a game in Madrid this year. I don't know about France. And this is where it gets dicey. Because if they do happen to expand overseas, is the NFL now, is that going to be the beginning of the end of the NFL? Is more NFL better for us fans? I think it's gotten out of hand, if you ask me. And we understand gambling plays a big part in it, but that's a whole other separate issue. How I see it as to when it's going to happen, I'm sure probably by the beginning of the next decade, 2030. Because if they're going to want to expand to 16 games, international games throughout the world, and by the start of the next decade, they're going to have teams in place where they're going to expand, I mean, what are we going to watch here at this point? We're going to have games starting at the crack of dawn, especially on the East Coast. Forget about even the West Coast. The NFL is going to be unrecognizable unless teams are going to relocate. And that's not going to happen. It's the NFL. These are billion-dollar entities. So even if there was a team struggling somewhere, and the only team you can say is Jacksonville, but like I said, they are refurbishing their stadium at this present moment. The Saints aren't going anywhere. The Arizona Cardinals aren't going anywhere. I mean, please, no way. So now you're talking 32 teams now. They're going to go 34, you would think, off the rip with the aforementioned team in Mexico and Canada. And then overseas, I'm sure they're going to start London first and then somewhere in Ireland second. And then who knows after that. And to me, the NFL, that could be the beginning of the end for yours truly. Could be. I'm not saying definite. I'm not saying that, oh, I'm leaving, goodbye. No. But when does it stop? I hate it. I hate the idea. I hate the thought of it. The NFL is not special anymore. And just because it evolves to try to get better, in my case, they're going backwards. I don't want to see a game on Thanksgiving Eve, 3 games on Thanksgiving itself, and then a Black Friday game. That's 5 games before you even get to Saturday. I'm going to be divorced. Come on, you think I'm going to watch 5 football games in a span of from 8:15 Wednesday night to about 6 p.m. on Friday? And by the way, that Friday's Denver at Pittsburgh. So, you know, that's, I mean, if I got to say goodbye to the first 4 games, then I'm watching Denver-Pittsburgh. Sorry. I mean, I'll follow on the phone, or if it gets good, hey, hon, you know, can I? I mean, seriously. And then, oh, by the way, could you imagine Thanksgiving weekend? Oh, by the way, now I got to follow the games on Sunday? I mean, this is when the NFL is just overboard. It's just too much. And as we all know, too much of anything is no good. I don't care what it is. And if this is going to be an issue where, not to say it's going to come down the pike tomorrow or next month or maybe even next year, but by the end of the decade, I'm sure maybe going into the offseason, the NFL is going to start thinking about, all right, where are we going to expand to? And then at that point, forget about it. I mean, what do you do at that point? The NFL is going to have a game every day of the week, you would think. I mean, come on. It's going to happen. And here's the other thing, too. And I understand all the other sports are guilty, too, with the streaming and, watch games on Netflix and watch games on Apple TV, the baseball in particular, et cetera. NBA, as I bitched about. I can't believe Jaylen Brown's first game in Boston is going to be on Prime. And not that it matters, but still, that game should be either ABC or ESPN. It shouldn't be, I got to find it on Prime. Stop. Or Peacock. Ugh. And I'll get your comments after this. But the question moving forward again, when is this going to happen? Where are these teams going to be? And not only that, how soon? Because fans want to know. At least this one does. And I don't know how you guys and gals feel, but I don't like it at all, in the least. Because, and then they're going to have an 18-game season on top of that at some point. The NFL is eating itself alive. And yeah, I'm saying that. And I know that the suits Roger Goodell, of course he's not watching, but if he's watching this, he's probably laughing 1,000 times over. He's probably keeled over laughing at me. This guy doesn't even know what he's talking about. Who knows? But I got news for you. I'm sure there's a lot of people in my age demographic that feels the same way. And they don't care about any fan. Let's call it as we see it. They don't care about the fans. They want them to go spend the money on the gambling. They want them to spend money going to the games. They want them to spend money on a Sunday ticket. They want them to spend money on everything. Because the NFL is a cash cow, and that's why I call them the shield, because they're bulletproof. They could get the dings. They could get all of the bad publicity, domestic violence, the guys in the offseason. We talked about this just a couple days ago. Suspensions, PEDs, substance abuse, domestic violence, conduct detrimental to the team, conduct, the list goes infinite. But nobody cares because they still watch on Sundays or Mondays or Wednesdays or Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays. It doesn't matter. And The only thing I'll say is that when the time comes, I'm going to discuss it. I bring this up now because when I saw that with Goodell, this is a receipt that you're going to have to hang on to. And that sucker is CVS loan. And if it's me killing the NFL, so be it. This is why I do what I do. The NFL doesn't care what I have to say. The NFL, like I said, Roger Goodell, all the owners, they're laughing all the way to the bank times 10. But is it really about money? Why could it just be about the product? Why could it just be about the game? Why could it just be about the fans experiencing the game without all this other nonsense? Without the gambling, without the fantasy, without anything else. And people can laugh at me. Fantasy J Reels, you're nuts. You know where I stand on that. You know. And I don't knock anybody else that does the fantasy football or gambling for that matter. Not this guy. And I got my reasons. And to me, it's unethical as a sports fan for fantasy football. Case closed. And people can laugh at that. People can whatever. But all right, then I guess you're not a diehard fan of your team because if you're a Steeler fan, I got Lamar Jackson on my fantasy team. Oh, all right, so you're going to see him twice a year. So you want him to score 1 million touchdowns and yards or whatever, but you're going to be cool with that if your team loses? Get the hell out of there with that nonsense. But anyway, that's why I stand with the NFL. And I got news for you. That day's going to come. I'm sure it's going to come sooner than we think. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. If I'm talking about this now, wait till I talk about it then. I hear you chopping. I see you chosen. I see what you're writing. I'm going to get to all your comments now. Wait, let me start off. Let me see. Chopping. All right. All right, here we go. Everything you said about the health is on point. I appreciate that, chosen. Absolutely. And I know we're roughly the same age, so hey, we got to make sure we take care of ourselves. Not just physically. Here too. Spiritually too. It's all of it. Let's see. Valkyries, yeah, Val. Are better than the Giants, these Valkyries. That's good. At least there's one team that you root for that puts a smile on your face. Nestor, oh, really? Oh, they need a starter. I mean, he's not bad, but I've never been a big fan of his. I know he's had success. He was an all-star one year, but hey, listen. Just don't put him in a big spot, excuse me. As you saw, not to bring up bad memories to Ray, game 1. I wish I could divorce myself from most sports. It's supposed to be an escape from real life. Makes you miserable 80% of the time. Well, the thing is, that the reason why it makes us miserable 80% of the time because there's only one team that wins championship. That's it. If they gave out awards, I guess in the NHL they do with the President's Trophy, but if they gave out awards, like for instance with the Brewers, and I know the novice got at me this morning saying, I guess the Brewers watched my podcast on Monday because I was talking about how the Brewers, I don't believe them as being a World Series champion. Listen, they're a World Series threat, but I don't think they're going to, I don't see it. And last night, what did they do? They destroyed the Seattle Mariners 22-0. That might as well have been Seattle Green Bay. Forget about Seattle Milwaukee. But, yeah, no, you know what's so funny about that? Chosen. When you divorce yourself is when you have your expectations for a team, especially when they get into the playoffs and then they lose, that's when it hurts the most. That's it. So, but yeah, I know, but it's still an escape. Listen, I love it with every fiber of my being. I can't get enough of it. Really, Waffle Baseball's been the weirdest I've seen in years. Yeah, baseball's had a weird season. I have to admit. Oh, look at this. 100% NFL. You see, Chosen, you and I in the same boat when it comes to just the demographic. And you know me, people, I'm not saying this for clickbait. I'm not saying this to, let me come out with this angle. No. To me, it's legitimate. And that's one of the things when next week I do my interviews on the street. I got a lot of NFL questions, which I'm going to be fascinated to debate against a lot of people. Because my question is going to be, has the NFL become overexposed or oversaturated? And I know there's going to be a lot of NFL fans that are going to be like, nah, what are you, crazy? I love the NFL, can't get NFL, blah, blah. And I'm going to debate. I'm going to be like, oh, so you mean to tell me a game on Thanksgiving Eve, the 3 games on Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Christmas, Saturdays, this day, that day, doubleheaders on Saturdays late in the year when college football is into their playoff. And, oh, by the way, when the college football playoffs on, they don't care. The NFL is going to put games on ahead of them, which will destroy the college football. And I get it, those college football games are going to be the weaker teams like we saw last year playing those games. But still. Ray, you're welcome. And thank you, as always. NFL stinks. I love car crashes and the NFL making rules limit big hits. 2. Oh, 1, I love car crashes and the NFL making. Yep. 2, the game is fixed because sports books control the outcome of games. Oh, my local team's Giants, that sucks really bad. All right, let me break that down. Yeah, if you watch the NFL, you go watch the NFL 15 years ago. It's a totally different sport. Because that's when they started. And you could even argue that James Harrison was the guy that started it, because James Harrison in one game nearly took off the heads of Joshua Cribbs and Mohamed Massaquoi, I think it was, in the same game. Because 2 days later, they put out that James Harrison rule about if you're going to take a hit to the head, you're going to get fined and possibly suspended. And I understand, they're trying to protect the game. I get it. But, yeah, the game isn't as physical. It isn't as brutal as it once was. And it's so ironic because the NFL, they don't want to talk about the CTE / dementia, Parkinson's deal. They want to sweep that under the rug. But we're doing our best to try to protect its players and player safety. But we want to have an 18-game season. We already extended it 1 game to 17. Which one is it? NFL, make up your mind. But we know that the big hits are what the fans want to see. And what's going to even draw, not that it's going to draw more fans, but, I mean, the NFL is just, they're a walking contradiction. Going live to the Yankee game, I did one last night. You know what, Ray? I actually tuned in last night for a couple of minutes, but since I'm watching these 2 dogs, they were just crazy, and I couldn't really concentrate on your live and having to deal with the dogs. As a matter of fact, knock on wood, they're actually quiet now, but if I knock, they're going to think it's the door. But if you're going to go tonight, I'll tune in. No, how about the 9:30? Oh, I hate the game. I don't watch that game. Now, I watched it last year when Minnesota played Pittsburgh in Dublin. That was at 9:30. Of course, I had to get up to watch that. And remember, the Steelers are going to play in Paris against the Saints. What week is that? Yeah, I think it's sometime in October. I think it's late October. You think I would know it off the top of my head. But again, I'm dialed in to the NFL right now, but I'm not locked in. But I know that the game is in France, so I'm going to have to watch that. But yeah, all the other games, I could care less. They could be playing it right outside in the courtyard. I wouldn't watch the game. Yankees won last night, Ray. Yes, they did. 3-1. Hey, shh. This is what I mean. People outside, you got the yapper here. That's what I'm going to call it, the yapper. Mexico and Canada, I believe they'll work. Yeah, no, they have to start there. They have to. They have to start there. And will you shh? Ah! I got the zapper here. I hate to do this, but. And this is what happens. Tomorrow on the podcast, with my stream of consciousness, I'm going to have to unless they just yap like crazy. I believe they will work with, they have to start there. I mean, could you imagine? Oh, we're going to start London and Ireland. Oh. And again, CFL, they may try to block the NFL going to Canada. But think about it. Baseball has a team in Canada. The NBA has a team in Canada, both in Toronto, I might add. Obviously, hockey, there's 7 teams in Canada. But the NFL, they would have to start there. They're going to start overseas? I mean, there's no way. They got to gradually ease into this. They just can't all of a sudden. And listen, if they do that, God bless them. And they have to start those two. Shh. Can we stop? Kids, you too. Yeah, there's somebody at the door. It's Amazon. Jeez. And you shh. Yeah, they just left. I told you people pray for me. 2 weeks. Here's the Yorkie we're talking about. Blue. Shh. She's cute as hell. But man, she needs some Ritalin, if you ask me. And if you're watching, I think they're on a flight right now. Belkis, Sebastian, Ethan, if you're watching right now, she's in good hands. She is, but she's too much. Wait, what's that? Wait, did you say that my phone rang? I don't know. You must have said this, a couple minutes ago? So you got to forgive me. I got to catch up on these comments. All right. I'll have to get back to that, Chosen, or clarify later on. I got to catch up with the comments. My proposal to fix the NBA All-Star game for 1 year. That's a good one, Waffle Iron. Why not? Won't happen. But you know what? That's something different. Fishing Angel, greetings. Just want to say hello before I go to work. Tell wife I said hello. Have a wonderful day. Yes, you too. Have a wonderful day. Have a great day. Glad you stopped by as always. Waffle, my brother, I doubt that helps All-Star break in the WNBA, especially he only is getting trampled. It's a good thought, though, Waffle Iron. I love it. Australians love their rugby. Football can grow quickly down there. But here's the thing with that, Waffle Iron. You're going to have a team. You're going to have an NFL team in Australia. How is that going to work? More so for the team that plays in Australia. I mean, they're going to have to fly midweek. So let's say, I'll just throw this out there. They're in the AFC West. I can't even imagine an NFL team in Australia. They're in the AFC West. So that means Denver, Kansas City. Kansas City might as well be, it's in the middle of the country. Denver's in Mountain Time Zone. Then you have the Chargers and Vegas there in the AFC West. They would have to travel midweek to get to their games, and they would have to probably bunch their schedule up to the point where they're going to have like 3 straight home games and then 3 straight road games, and then they have to do it that way. What are they going to do? That's almost impossible. Yeah, and Australians do love their rugby. That's for damn sure. And I can see it growing, but to have a team there, I don't know. And I know you're not suggesting there should be a team there, but Jay, why don't they just make NFL Europe, NFL Asia, NFL Zone, leave us alone? Well, remember in the 90s they had the NFL Europe. What did they have? They had the Frankfurt Galaxy and the Rain Fire. What were some of the other teams they had there? I forgot. I know those are the 2 teams off the top of my head. And I never got into NFL Europe, by the way, but see, now here's my thing when it comes to that. How prominent is the NFL in those countries or continents? So let's say NFL South America. We know South America, it's all about soccer. Colombia, Brazil. I'm trying to think of other countries down there. Paraguay. Is there really an NFL following down there? I'm sure there's some, but not to the extent where if you're in, and I won't even give you a big NFL city. As I mentioned, the Arizona Cardinals. Is there much of a following there that there is, let's say in those countries in South America, that there is in Arizona? Or Jacksonville? or New Orleans. Forget about Pittsburgh. Forget about Green Bay. Forget about Dallas. Forget about New York, Philly, Chicago, LA. Forget about that. I'm talking about the teams that are smaller markets. Cleveland. They've been horrible forever. But Cleveland, that is a football town. It's Jim Brown, Paul Brown, Otto Graham. You mean to tell me that Paraguay, Brazil, there is anything close to the amount of people that would follow an NFL team the way they would in Cleveland? I don't see it. And if the NFL comes up with NFL Asia and all that, I mean, maybe. But who's going to watch that? And Chosen, that's it. Case closed. Capitalistic as you could possibly be. But for what? Why? The NFL was perfect the way it was. Their ratings are through the roof, as we know. And you don't need Roger Goodell. You, Chosen, Waffle Iron, J-Rod, Bio, Val, yours truly, we could sit in a room with the networks and we'll be able to get billion-dollar contracts from those guys. They don't need Roger Goodell. I mean, seriously? How many times have I talked about what are the top-rated shows on TV year in and year out? What was it, 2 years ago or 3 years ago? Maybe it was 2023. 100 of the top-rated shows on TV. 93 of them were the NFL. So you mean to tell me that I couldn't walk to Netflix or to CBS, ESPN, ABC, et cetera, and say, hey, guys, I want $4 billion right now so you can broadcast our games? They'll be like, they'll rip the check out, start signing it right in, and hand it over. I'm sorry. There's no need. You want to have a Thursday night? Fine. There's no need for a Wednesday night season opener. No need. Zero. None. There's no need for a Thanksgiving Eve game. None. Zero. There's no need for a New Year's Eve game. None. Why? New Year's Eve's on a Thursday, I might add. So that just like fits perfectly in. But I'm sure the ratings are going to be successful. And I forgot what it's on. I'm going to take a look. It may be streamed. Oh, it's on Amazon because it's Thursday. Next year it'll be on a Friday. You already know that NFL is going to bogart New Year's Eve from here on out. New Year's Eve, Tuesday, NFL. New Year's Eve, Wednesday, NFL game. Why not? It's too much. Enough. I do, but the NFL's king. I agree with you, the latest thought. Yeah. No, listen, I would never dispute. NFL is, like I said, they're bulletproof. They're bulletproof in so many ways, shapes, forms, etc. I hate to say it like this, but it's true. There could literally be 3 or 4 criminals on every NFL team. Every one. And it doesn't matter what they do. Doesn't matter if your name is Rashee Rice. Doesn't matter if your name is Terry and Arnold. Doesn't matter. People are still going to watch. Where back in the day, the NBA, because everybody was wearing baggy jeans and throwback jerseys and had chains and cornrows and tattoos, and there were people that were disgusted by that. What? That they had to enforce, David Stern, had to enforce a dress code so that they could be on the bench, quote unquote, or I should just, I'm paraphrasing, to look presentable because the NBA didn't want their customers or their fans to see players dressed in that fashion. But the NFL, they can literally, Henry Ruggs, I can go on forever. Henry Ruggs, remember him? I don't want to single the guy out, but this guy, Alabama, wide receiver, drafted by the Raiders. He drives his car 140 miles an hour down the strip at 4 in the morning and kills a 20-year-old, 23, whatever how old she was, a 23-year-old innocent woman and her dog. Is anybody outraged? No. Michael Vick. Did anybody stop watching the NFL because of Michael Vick? And what happened? And listen, Michael Vick paid his price. He was sent penitentiary 2.5 years, however long it was. But did people boycott the NFL then? And yeah, they had animal rights activists and all that outside Philadelphia when he got signed by the Eagles, et cetera, whatever. And that's not a knock on Michael Vick. It's just a fact. But did the NFL shut down? I'm not watching the NFL anymore because, nope. Like I said, that shield has dings in it, but it's not ripped, torn, destroyed, blown into smithereens, and never will. Never. Never. I don't know how else to say it. I do not know how else to put it. And again, if the NFL caught wind of this video, they probably, who knows? I'd probably have to walk outside and look out the doors and be like, well, I got to watch my back. And you got to remember something, people. This is why I started this back in 12, 13. I prefaced this by saying that I've watched the NFL since 1976, 50 years. And I still love the NFL. Love it. Come on. You want me to go back? You want me to talk about the sport? The voice of God, John Facenda, NFL Films? Let's go. Let's talk about it. Red Right 88. We can talk about all the great plays in the history. The Holy Roller, the Ghost to the Post, Immaculate Reception. You want to get the helmet catch? Let's talk about it. I won't be like, I can't stand the NFL. But it's stuff like this that you see and people don't care. People will still gamble. People will still buy the apparel. People will still, and I haven't bought an NFL thing in forever. So whatever NFL stuff you see me, my old Steeler hats, whatever, my old terrible towel, which I have, which I do in my, I do this for the Steelers' latest, which is up today. Yeah, and I've had this for years. But yeah, am I buying any more NFL apparel or going to an NFL game? In fact, the last NFL game I went to, I'll say this real quick and I'll move on, I promise. Yeah, because since COVID, I haven't gone. Last NFL game I went to, and I thank my lovely wife, who I adore, and if she's watching, I love her because she's right now, I know she's at work, but she took me to Ravens Steelers in Pittsburgh, December 10th, 2017. Great experience. First time I've been to Heinz Field at the time. I'd been to Three Rivers before that in the 90s. That's the last time I stepped foot in an NFL stadium to watch a game. Since then, I haven't. When I'm even thinking, did I go see a Jet game, Giant game that somebody invited me to? No, I didn't. I'd rather just watch the games at home. And I'm not a Jet or Giant fan, as you know. And even when the Steelers played the Jets last year, week 1, you think I went? Did not. And that's not me boycotting the NFL. I just rather watch the game at home. That's it. All right. Bio. I'm endlessly in love with my sports teams. I can never divorce them. Yeah, well, you're on a run there, Bio, because, yeah, Dodgers, Rams, Lakers. Hey, listen. And that's the thing. I can't divorce myself in the NFL just yet. I can't. I mean, unless it's going to be a thing where, and I know this is off the rails, but the hell with it. Unless they have a Son of Sam deal. And listen, you had almost a borderline Son of Sam, Aaron Hernandez. And even Aaron Hernandez, you think that people stop watching the NFL because of him? Or the Patriot fans? Ooh, I can't watch this anymore. Now, they had damage control because what they did, and it was smart of them, Robert Kraft, he says, if anybody owns an Aaron Hernandez jersey, I think it was just the Patriots, or maybe it was the NFL.com, whatever it was. They said that if you have an Aaron Hernandez jersey, You could trade it for a present player today at the time. Brilliant, smart, and that would reel in any fan. So you know what? Maybe they looked out for the fans for that one instance. But overall, do they look out for the fans? Yeah, I can't divorce myself from the NFL. Because week one, when Atlanta's in Pittsburgh, week one, I'm ready to go. Let's go. But that's why I said they're bulletproof. So tell me I'm not right. Yes, sir. Salute to that, 1,000%. I'm right there with you. I don't trust the Brewers. Oh, I'll get to them in a minute. You're just being honest when it comes to Nestor. Oh, yeah, that's all. No, Nestor was good. He's crafty, but I mean, I'm sure he's going to be a help for the Phillies. How much? Remains to be seen. I'm having trouble breaking down the video you sent me into clips. Yeah, I don't know if you're able to use the iMovie. I know I had sent that. Yeah, iMovie's actually really simple, Ray. And maybe one day, I don't know, you and I could get together and send it. Or maybe what I could do is I could send it to my phone and I could put it in clips and I could send it to you. Yeah, because the thing is, you'd have to take whatever clip that you like, you'd have to take it, where you start and where you finish. All you got to do is just, I know when you load it, what you could do is that video, you could save it to your phone. Now, you got to make sure you have enough gigs on your phone. Save that video to your phone if you haven't done so. And then an iMovie, if you have an iPhone. I don't know if you have an iPhone. Open the app and then just load that video onto there. And whatever it is, when you watch it, whatever clips that you want, you could just split and erase what you want before and then split what you want to erase after that. And then save that as just a regular clip, and that's it. NFL's king. Oh, no. 1,000%. They are king. NFL rules are not being able to touch a quarterback if you're a defensive player nowadays. And I get it. Quarterbacks are what drives the NFL because who the hell wants to see, as it was a few years ago, what was that game? Chargers-Raiders. They had a game where the quarterback matchup was it Nick Mullins? Oh, man, I can't think of it right now. Yeah, it was like Easton Stick versus Nick Mullins or something like that. Easton Stick was the backup of the Chargers. I mean, nobody wants to see that. But at the same time, it is a joke because I was watching Steelers-Packers, the preseason game, and they called a personal foul on I think it was on Y.A. Black. I mean, it was the biggest joke. I mean, come on. It was a joke. Great Jays game last night. Yeah, they won 10-5, did they not? And I know I haven't checked the standings this morning because I've just been focused on just the topics here. But, yeah, no, and the Jays are what, a game and a half back? NFL super soft, too many refs involved calls, sports in general, just weak sauce. Yeah, listen, across the board, right, just to maybe not pick on the NFL right now. We know the NBA, the game has changed, as we've talked about a million times. It's all about the three-point shot. It's not about the center anymore. And you got a guy like Wemby who could dominate, and it does dominate, but still, baseball with its stupid exit velo and launch angle and spin raid, and thankfully they killed the shift. But no, I feel you. Going live during the Yankee game, right? So that's at what? What time they play tonight? 6:40, I think, the game in Baltimore. That'd be great. I'd like to see a team back in Montreal. Now, they got to build them a stadium. That's the thing, because the Olympic Stadium is still there, but that's archaic. Agreed unless the Giants run at 9:30. Right. And then you'll watch. I make you uncomfortable. I can't put that joke up here. That's not good. That's not nice. What about an NFL team with 4 games in Australia and have the name Sydney or Perth? Right, so they're going to have 4 games. All right, now you say that meaning that there is an NFL team in Australia. Is that right, Waffle Iron? I don't know how that would work. I really don't. because, I mean, what is the flight from? It's like 15-hour flight, I think, from LA to Australia. 15 hours. And teams would have to leave like midweek and then practice. I mean, that's too taxing. Trying to get your circadian rhythm and adjust the time zones. No, if they're going to play 4 games down there that are just between NFL teams here and not having an NFL team there, all right, I wouldn't like it. But right, you figure Sydney, Melbourne, Perth. Yeah, but if they're going to have a team down there, then, oh, my God, I don't know what Roger Goodell will be thinking at that point. I just don't. Lost their starting. Yeah, I did see that. And I know, and they had offensive line issues last year when it came to their tackles. Ugh, not a good sign there for the Chargers. Yeah, Jay, I was posting starting in Canada and Mexico, but then my phone rang. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, and that's where I have to start. I mean, if they're going to be that ambitious to start in, let's say, London and Ireland. Now, the Toronto thing's going to be fascinating because there is a Canadian Football League team, and even though they may say, oh, you can't have a team here. Now, when do they usually play their games? Do they usually play on a Saturday? When do the CFL their games? Runs from early June to late October. Oh, late October. I thought it was November. Okay. Well, games mostly played on Thursday, Friday, Saturday evenings, as well as Sunday afternoons. Well, here's the thing. Their season ends in October, so they could have a team in Toronto as long as they don't play on Sunday afternoons, because maybe there's some sort of stipulation, which the NFL, they probably could care less. They'll probably send them, oh, yeah, here's $500 million so we can play our games there. Now shut up. And I'm sure the Canadian Football League will be like, all right, we'll take it. Kind of hate to say that. Shout out to Brent. I got to get in contact with him. Brent Tolman, north of the border. Thursday, Friday, or Saturday evenings. Yeah, that's not going to interfere with the NFL if they play mostly their games on Thursday or Friday, which that's kind of a weird, yeah, you know. Maybe not South America football and football. I could see why, but every other place for sure they could capitalize over the money. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and here's the other thing, too. Can I say this as well? Why did the Players Association, and I guess the NFL, I got to look into this. I know Donavis is on top of this, because I could care less. But they're going to have flag football in 2028. What other countries are going to be able to compete with NFL players? Seriously. Is there a group in Nigeria that right now are practicing flag football for the Olympics to qualify? And all they need, heaven forbid, all they need is to have one player make one cut and nobody touches them. And we see it all the time with ACLs, non-contact injury. One guy in the 28 Olympics tears an ACL or shatters their Achilles, and heaven forbid is a quarterback. Could you imagine? Patrick Mahomes, a starting quarterback of the flag football team, and he's running out of the pocket and he blows out his Achilles. Oh, jeez. They'll pull it right there. They'll be like, that's it. End of story. Oh, my God. The more I even think about this, I just get agita. I'm aggravated. I hate everything about it. And the NFL is just legally to have the game on a Wednesday this year. Did they really? Why legally? Why? I'm not asking you that. I'm just saying that rhetorically, the novice. Why? Why? Let's see. All right. Rare midweek games. Wednesday games are exceptionally rare and only happen when the league chooses to adjust its calendar for unique events such as special season openers, Holiday showcases like Christmas, pandemic-related schedule shifts. Yeah, I'll never forget. The Steelers played that one game. They were supposed to play on a Thursday night, Thanksgiving, and they had to move it because of COVID. Player Lamar Jackson, and they didn't play until the following Wednesday, 3 o'clock. I'll never forget it. And then they had to play Monday against the former Commanders, or not even former, the Washington football team, and then they lost. And then they presumed to lose 4 of the last 5 games, including that playoff game against Cleveland. Yeah, see here, Donavis. Under the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961, the NFL gives up certain antitrust protections if it televises games on Friday nights or Saturday nights during the high school and college football seasons, as we know. But this law contains no rules regarding Wednesdays. Oh, look at this. NBC Sports. I didn't even see this. Wednesday, Thursday opening games can be here to stay. Oh, God, please no. Make it stop. Let's have a game every day of the week. Why not? Start the season the day after Labor Day. Start it on a Tuesday. Play a game Wednesday. Play a game Thursday. Play a game Friday. Oh, no. Then you can't play Friday because that's when the high schools. Oh, you play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then start Sunday, and then play Monday night, and then just start again. Why not? Never say never. Gen Z and company with Alex. You hit me too hard, huh? Plus with the... Yeah, I know. FanDuel. Forget it. Yeah. Never say never, but... I tell you, I don't know. You have a Galaxy phone? Is there an editing app on that phone? For the iPhone, it's iMovie. I don't know if you may have to check that, Ray. Or if anybody has a Galaxy phone, is there an app that's built into the phone that's here in the room? NFL expanded to Europe because the civilian supersonic plane is set to release in 2029. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it had like this weird shape. It's all like rounded, kind of like a jet, but it's gray. I think I saw that not yesterday, the day before. No, they're going to expand to Europe. But my thing is, the novice, are they going to expand to Europe off the bat? Or will they start Mexico and Canada first and then go out? Because think about it. His quote, let me see if I can go back to that. His quote, at some point there will be NFL teams outside the USA. Outside the USA is Mexico and Canada. So I'm not going to automatically think that they're going to punt to the UK for starters. And then who knows? They may go to Spain. They may go, So that's why I'm not all here crazy out of my gourd when I started this, because I'm thinking when he says outside the USA, those are the 2 destinations that I think that we would have in mind at first. But then we all know outside of that, forget it. Oh, there you go, Chosen. As a matter of fact, oh, yeah, that's right. The Mets are starting now. Waffle Iron, my man. I'm watching both, Waffle. I appreciate it. Thank you, Chosen. The second weekend rule, they signed to start the NFL. Right, after Labor Day. And remember, the NFL used to start on Labor Day weekend, which I actually prefer. Why not? And I don't want to hear, people are traveling. It's the NFL. People will watch. And I don't think that would be their answer. But I could almost get a sense that the NFL, why don't you start on Labor Day? They did many years. Probably within the last, 10, 15 years, they went to the following week, maybe more than that. But I'll never forget, I went to 94, Dallas at Pittsburgh, Three River Stadium. That was September 4th. That was the day before Labor Day. They had plenty of years, even into the 2000s, where they had games on Labor Day weekend. And I don't want to hear that, we don't want to start on Labor Day because people are traveling. Nonsense. People will watch the NFL. Why? And gambling. Well, I know. Next Saturday, that's when the college football season. Oh, as a matter of fact, doesn't it start this weekend? No, it starts the following weekend. And then, yeah, the North Carolina game, TCU. That is next weekend, right? Let me double check. I think it is. Let's see. College. Yeah, August 29th. And then the following weekend, it begins. Yep, 29th, college football starts. Following Saturday, Michigan. Yeah, unreal. I know. College football is just about here. We can say that for the NFL, but even more so, college football starts a week from this Saturday. Chosen. You're in good company with J-Rod. Let me see something. Hold on. Yeah, we don't want this. Get this out of here. All right. So that was my rant on the NFL. I know that lasted longer than it should have. Michigan 60. Yeah, I did see that in the preseason polls. Too high or too low. Let me take a look at that. Rankings. It's probably right about, I would say it's right about there when you look at all the teams that are ahead. Miami, Texas, Oklahoma, Ole Miss. And maybe they're not believers in Bryce Underwood. Alabama, Texas Tech. Who's the quarterback at Alabama? That's what I want to know. Oh, John Cooper? Is that supposed to be your the guy? I think it is. I know it says Austin Mack, senior, but I think John Cooper was the name I remember. Let's see. Go Blue, that's it. Way too low in my opinion. No, I hear that. I can see that, but those teams ahead of them. No, I can see why they put those teams ahead of them. To me, I don't give two. That's it. Yeah. Next NFL contract this season, extend the weekend. Super Bowl will be President's Weekend. Yep. Yeah, when is the next one up? When is the NFL CBA? Oh, March 2031. So at the end of the 2030 league year, so you still got 5 years, including this year. But, I can only imagine what that's going to be like. Yeah, that's the referees. Yeah, they extended to 2032. Let's see. Let me go back. I know. I got to get to these other comments here. Yeah, I'm almost caught up. NFL contract. Yeah, President's Week. No, that's what's going to happen. I could see that. The novice. 100%. Also for AS Galaxy, there's plenty of splicing video apps on it. Yeah. Yeah, I know, like CapCut. I know you have to maybe pay for that stuff, right? Or unless you're going to, like, you can't edit a video that's going to be more than 3 minutes because then you have to pay. Yeah, I use iMovie. I do have Final Cut Pro, but that's when I do more of my my vlogs. College football, some good. No, yeah, college football is going to be great this year. 100%. Savon Hinter. All right. As a matter of fact, let me look quick. I know. And I got. Hey, shh. And I got about an hour with you guys because, of course, I got my appointment. You see this? This is what you're going to get. The zapper. I know, kids. I'm sorry. Let's see. Yeah, Michigan. That's what I want to look up. Hold on. Your schedule. Western Michigan, Oklahoma week 2. In your building, though. UTEP, Iowa. Iowa can never score. At Minnesota. Penn State at home. Indiana. At Rutgers, Michigan State. At Oregon. And of course, UCLA and then Ohio State. All right, I'm going to ask you guys. Chosen, J-Rod, what do you think your team will do this year? 10-2? If you go 9-3, chances are you're going to probably be on the outside looking in. Yeah, the Indiana game's in your building. I mean, damn, you only have one road game over the first 2 months of the year. At Minnesota, which you'll destroy them. Then you go to Rutgers. I mean, come on. Now, Oregon and Ohio State to end the year, that's going to be tricky. Yeah, you guys got to get to Oregon. If you could get to Oregon with one loss, which all these games are at home, though. Yeah, you should beat Penn State. Indiana, I don't know how they're going to be this year. Who's Indiana's quarterback? Yeah, you definitely got to get to Oregon. If you can get to Oregon with no losses, you'd be better. Because then if you lose the 2 games to Oregon and Ohio State, now that would suck. Because that means if you lose to those 2 teams, could that go against you not making the playoff? Possibly. It depends on how good Penn State and Indiana are going to be. Or in Oklahoma, too. But then I understand people will forget about that Oklahoma game once you get to mid-November. Unless you beat them 35-7 and Oklahoma's 9-1 at that point. But interesting. That's it. Wouldn't approve. Exactly. Yes, Val. Chop it in my opinion. They should have. I agree with you on that. And that's why I laughed the other day. What was it? About a week or so ago, they came out with the preseason polls. And then on Monday, they said, breaking news, Ohio State and Oregon are your top 2. It's like, you just came out with this 10 days prior to that. How is that? Schedule is brutal. 4 road games. But the thing is that you have Penn State and Indiana in your building. And I don't know how Indiana's going to be this year. But yeah, to close out the year at Oregon and at Ohio State, I mean, that's rough. And that's why you guys got to go minimum. You got to have 1 loss going into that Oregon game. Because you gotta think that you're not going to win both Oregon and Ohio State. I'm sure you want the Ohio State game. I mean, you would probably say I'd rather lose 60-0 to Oregon as long as you win. You can win 3-2 against Ohio State. But yeah, I don't think you can't lose both of them. Jimmy, one day have a call-in show towards the end of the show. I would say, Bruce. Well, it's funny you say that because tomorrow I want to do a whatchamacallit. I want to do a sports town hall. Now, I'll talk about that in the back end. I know I got to get to a couple other things, too. I'm going to have to speed through them all. I'll save them for tomorrow's podcast, if anything. 10-2 sneak into the playoffs. Right, so that means that either... Now, 10-2, does that include a loss to Penn State and or Indiana and then a loss to either Oregon or Ohio State? Yeah, I think they may surprise people. Now, to me, I got to see a little bit more Underwood in his development this year. 9 or more. Michigan, oh, here we go. J-Rod's always on top of it. Michigan wins their Oregon game. Or the Ohio State game on the road. I'm leaning more towards beating Ohio State on the road. Yeah, and they owe them for last year. Is that San Jose signing with them? Yeah, I hate the preseason polls. I mean, it's makes no sense. Yeah, I saw this too. Yeah. Taylor Rooks. Yeah. At the back end, I'm going to talk about it. Julian Sayin. I know, and the running back too, Jeremiah Smith. They're going to be good, but yeah, college football almost here. All right. Now, let me get to some of these comments because, again, I have less than an hour tops at my appointment. I'll spend 2 seconds on this, only because I talked about this on Monday. I don't believe in the Brewers. I said it Monday. I don't need to say it again. And I'm sure there was one Brewer fan that got at me on YouTube on one of the comments where, oh, you don't give him, you give him credit, but then you don't give him credit. How do you make it make sense? Something like that. All I'm saying is that, listen, I can't knock what they've done. And listen, look, this is even going to validate my point more if they lose. And we know Seattle's terrible and have underachieved, but I said it before one last time. They can win 105 games. If they don't go to a World Series, not even win. But if they win, let's say if they win 100 and have the best record in the sport for the second year in a row and they don't get to a World Series, please, I will laugh until spring training next year. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know me. I'll own up to it. Hand raised high in the air. But I'll believe it when I see it, when they are that good and beat a big team in a big spot. I got to get to this. The Brooklyn Net owner, who nobody's even ever heard of. Of course, I haven't. I'm sure if you follow sports, you know who he is. Joseph Tsai, Alibaba, the whole nine. He came out, and here's his quote. You ready? I even saved this. Quote, every year some team is going to win a championship. This year, that team is in the same city. It irates our fan base, and it is embarrassing. You know, the fan base is like 40 strong. Let's call it as we see it. We had a plan, and we're rebuilding, and I think right now we're on a positive trajectory. The Nets could win 5 straight NBA championships. This will always be a Knick town. Always. I only know of 2 Net fans off the top of my head. Keith McPherson, who's been on the pod, as you know, and Evan Roberts, who actually has been on my podcast way back in the very beginning. Other than that, I don't know of any Net fans. So it irates our fan base. That could be a little strong. Embarrassing. Well, and I understand he tried. Like you said, it irates our fan base. We had a plan. That's the KD, Kyrie, James, Harden. That certainly didn't work out. But hopefully he gets his team on track. I'd like to see him be successful. I got nothing against the Brooklyn Nets. But Jordy Fernandez, their coach. Sean Marks, their GM. I know they didn't draft Darius Acuff. They drafted Mikael Brown instead. Acuff, I thought, would have sold a little bit more tickets. I understand he can't play. Maybe he's not a good defender. But there's been comparisons to he and Allen Iverson. I understand I'm not a scout. I understand that I'm not in any NBA front office, but I did watch the tournament, and Arkansas was very good, and he is electric. Mikael Brown, sorry, was not really on my radar, but okay. Next thing, and then I'll get your comments, and then we'll talk about the town hall. Now, Bio could talk about this. this has been almost like a soap opera, Days of Our Lives. When the Laker franchise was sold to Josh Kushner and Bob Iger, and for us to kind of look around and say, wait a minute, didn't Mark Walter just buy this team? And now there's been reports about Walter that who knows, he could maybe end up selling the Dodgers, I don't know, you could probably answer that. He's also thinking about selling, I believe he runs or owns or is part owner of one of the soccer teams, not the Galaxy. It's eluding me right now. But anyway, it sounds like he's in a world of trouble. And he's probably going to need all the money, or as much money as he possibly can, in order to fight off, which looks like it's going to be tax fraud. Again, an ethical billionaire. Next time I meet one will be the first. Not that I've met one, but you understand what I'm saying. Maybe Mark Cuban is the only one, I guess, that's has any ethics when it comes to the billionaires. But anyway, I digress. Now you had a situation where at first they were like, oh, hey, Jeannie Buss saying, I didn't agree to this. When her brothers have all said, yeah, I'll sell. And now it's a situation where, remember, they have to have at least 15% ownership, the Buss family, in order for Jeannie to still be a part of the board of governors on the team from now until 2030. And if they were to sell, the brothers, sell their portion, that would only leave Jeannie with what? I don't know. If you do the math, I think it's 5 of them, 17.5. So each one has 3%. So that's going to pretty much leave Jeannie with 3% of the team, where obviously whatever she says is not going to fly in the face of the aforementioned Kushner and Iger. So Jeannie, who's doing her best to hold her cards close to the vest, and let me see. As a matter of fact, hold on 1 second. Let me pull this up. Oh, geez. Texans, Jaden Higgins, torn ACL. Speaking of another Jaden, I didn't get into the whole Jaden Daniels thing with the number 5. I mean, come on. Like, what are we doing? All right, so here's what we got. 5 Buss siblings united in decision to sell Lakers shares. I think there's 6 total, right? Oh, yeah. Did I say? Yeah, 5 of the 6. I said 5 overall, but what I meant was 5 were saying we're out of here, and the 6th. So in essence, they hold almost 18% stake in the organization. Do the math. And Buss was like, nah, I'm not selling mine. But here it comes. The statement comes in the wake of Jeannie Buss, the current governor of the team, and the only sibling to abstain from the vote to sell, declaring her intention to contest her brothers and sister. That's right, there is a girl involved. Or a woman, excuse me. And this is the Buss family said in a statement. Johnny, Jimmy, Janie, Joey, and Jesse have made a decision to sell the family's remaining stake, and we remain united in that decision. We intend to move forward thoughtfully, respectfully, and through the appropriate process. Despite Jeannie not being on board. And then last June, Buss family made the decision to sell to Mark Walter, $10 billion. Last June, not 2026. Multiple Buss siblings, however, felt frustrated at Jeannie and misled her over what they believe was a rush sale. Those siblings felt pressured to vote yes. I mean, who knows? This thing is a mess. And obviously, if they're united to sell their portion, Jeannie is SOL. And Jeannie Buss contending that the court ruled in 2017 that no sale could be effectuated without approval by the co-trusters, i.e. Jeannie, Janie, and Joey Buss, meaning it would need her approval. And then, Jeannie's lawyer, Adam Streisand, demanded that the family make clear publicly that Genie Bus is controlling owner of the LA Lakers and take no action on the supposed vote to sell 17.8% stake. I mean, who knows how this is going to unfold, and it's a mess. I mean, there's all there is to it. All right, let's see comments. Hang on, I'm scrolling up, people. Your Michigan Wolverines, could I lose more than 2 games, or they will make the call? No, they'd have to. Yeah, if they lose more than 2, I don't think they get it. It depends on what the other teams do too, and tiebreakers. Because let's say if Michigan beats Oklahoma, and Oklahoma ends up with 3 losses, and Michigan has 3 losses, they got to take Michigan. Depending on where the other teams stand, of course. But yes. Yes. I know, that's coming. They don't have a time on that game yet, right? I hope it's not a night game. That game better be 12 o'clock. We have truly more than one. Wow, more than one gets in. That'd be interesting. Could I see that happening? I guess it depends on the other teams. That we'd have to wait and see. The strength of schedule is brutal. They could lose 3 games to make it, of course. Yeah, I could see that. Repeat your contacts. Repeat my contacts again? Oh, you say I missed that, Chosen. I got to go back to that. Hold on. This has always been New York, the country, New York City, because that's the one team that unites the city. It does. Ray's right about that. Ray, you're a Florida State fan, correct? Oh, I didn't know that that's the case. Oh, yeah, no, I love that. I think Evan is great. And Joe B, yeah, I mean, who doesn't love Joe Beningo? Ray Conley, 28, not a chance. Michigan has a squad. Jerry Rose, I have a question for you, sir. I could text you or just say it here. Oh, I can say it here. I don't know. Did you text me? No, not yet. You can say it here. Florida State. This is Charlie Ward days. Yeah, that's early 90s. They lost that game to Notre Dame. I'll never forget in 93. And then the week after, Boston College and Glenn Foley beat Notre Dame. Oh, nice, Ray. Jameis Winston went there. Met him several times. Yeah, because of this class. Good kid. Wow. Famous Jameis. Hey, Ray, do you ever do a college football show on your channel? Oh, one doubt, sir. Oh, yes. I know. We still got to talk about that, Jay. I know, a couple weeks. Oh, there you go, Ray. What's the show's name? Choppin'? Did he? Yeah, exactly. Jeannie fired her siblings. This is their get back. Ah, okay. Oh, this is their jet back. Yes. That's it. I think it's just, isn't it just, Ray Conley 28, right, Ray? Who got over 100 subscribers. I think he's at 109. Congrats. Starting a political with the Dodgers and Lakers. A lot of fans of both teams are jumping ship. Oh, I know. I've heard. Is that right? Are a lot of fans jumping ship because of that? Have you noticed that? Have you sensed it? I'm sure you have, obviously, living out there. But I heard too. I've seen some people say, George Lopez in particular was like, I'm not rooting for the Lakers to Dodge anymore. Yeah, that certainly puts an interesting wrinkle to it. JR, college sports in general are far, far more serious rivals and faster than NFL and NBA. Yeah, the one thing I don't like about the college sports, though, Chosen, especially now, is that, come on, there are guys that are 25 that are playing in college football. I understand this goes back to even Chris Wenke when he was at Florida State, and I understand it was like 30 or whatever he was at the time. But, yeah, come on. Might as well have you and me play in college football. That's the only thing I don't like. Listen, you're going to have somebody that's 23. Even that's a stretch, but okay, I guess. Come on, Stetson Bennett, who won that when they beat TCU, he was 25 years old. I put my YouTube link in the chat. I'm hoping to go. I'm going to go on corporate college football over J-Rod. Ray, we'll talk college football. That'd be interesting. That's cool. Good. Looks at your platform. Awesome. And Chosen, what's up with you, man, with your pod? I want to tune in. Chop and I'm way more a Michigan fan than any of the sports I'm in. Oh, yeah. You can forget about that. I mean, now, J-Rod is a great sports fan. Great. But Michigan Wolverine football in particular, check it out, Ray. Yeah, during the game tonight, Yankee game. Chop and I've been to every Michigan State game. Yeah. And did you go to national championship also a few years ago? Listen, you got a double dose then. If the Michigan Wolverine basketball and the Knicks won, doesn't get any better than that. Happy birthday, QB. Oh, Quentin Byfield, yeah. Shout out to the Kings for bio. I'm going to tell you right now, it's the week before Ohio State. Most likely going to be a night game. Oof, that night is probably going to be 20 degrees with a wind chill in the teens, maybe single digits. Yikes. All right, J-Rod. No, I could dig it. Joe B and Steve Summers are my favorites. Yeah, I've been meaning to contact you. Yeah, I've been more of a Russo guy. I love Joe B too. I'm more of a Chris Russo guy. Yeah, I love Francesa too, but I rather Russo's more entertaining than Francesa. Yeah, man, hit me up. Let me know when you're going to be on. Chosen. I'm going camping tomorrow. Won't be able to do sports night on Tax Channel. I know. I got to get on that. I know this Friday's gonna be rough too. Just so you know, because I know like the last few weeks have been crazy. Yeah, my wife's actually gonna be. I got to pick her up from the airport Friday night, and that's at 10:30. So who knows if her flight's delayed, whatever. So yeah, this Friday's not gonna work for me, and obviously it's not gonna work for you, J-Rod. So. Oh, that's your question filling for me? Look, I didn't read the whole thing. It depends on what time I get back. I think our flight lands like 10:30 something. I mean, if I could be back by 11:30, or if it gets delayed, then maybe I could do it from sitting in my car. But I'll see. I'll reach out to Tag. I think the more interesting thing about Gina was she married to Jay Moore. Yeah, I know the actor. Does he still act that guy? I don't even know. But yeah, you're right about that. That's a weird match. I remember Genie Bus, obviously Phil Jackson. Agreed, yeah. You're a neck of the woods, Val. That's cool. Bio, he makes me. Makes a laugh. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, I don't remember listening to it, but I remember he did. Yeah, what's up with him? Yeah, I remember his show. Yo, that's him today? No way. Yeah, his birthday's upcoming too. He'll be 50. He'll be my age. No, I'm 57. He'll be 56. Yeah, Jay Moore. Of course, he was in Jerry Maguire. And a bunch of other things, of course, but he was married to Nikki Cox, Nicole Chamberlain. Why does that name sound familiar? Was she a model? Yeah, it looks like. And then Nikki Cox, the way that's spelled, it almost looks like married 12 years. actress. Why does Jay Moore look different? Aging. Yeah, I would have never recognized him. Yeah, I wonder what he's up to. Is he still doing sports? 100%. Yes, Chosen. No, I hear you. I know we got to keep it going. I'll see what I could do, man. I know me and my, I don't want to say my crazy life, but yeah, just Fridays at the in-laws, Fridays nights at movie theaters, picking up the wife from the airport on Friday. I mean, yeah, there's always something going on with me. That's what happens when you live in a big city. There's always something happening. I will let him know to, didn't even dawn on me till this morning. Yeah, no, I got to reach out to him too. I know he's, Tag's a good guy. The advice guy, he's also here on YouTube. Definitely check him out. J-Rod, I saw how they changed their senior night. Oh, yeah, no, that game's going to be, and of course it's in. Yes, I will, Chosen. 6:25 start for Ray. All right, let me see, 6:25. Yeah, I'll be back from my appointment. I got to record my other video for the Steelers. But no, I definitely check that out, Ray. And hopefully the dogs don't get me crazy. Actually, they've been pretty good. The kids might see sleeping. The other one thinks on a sofa. No, he did it to my cousin? Oh, okay. All right. Bio. Yeah, last game at Ohio State. I know that's when they won, what, 13-10? Yeah, Ohio State fans were mad that day. Oof, they were like, oh, I can't believe we lost, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, they won the championship. That's crazy. There were a lot of Ohio State fans that I can understand. Obviously, I'm not part of that rivalry. But they were more upset losing to Michigan than winning a national championship. I mean, that's ass backwards. I hate to say this. I could get season series swept by the Yankees. And if they win the World Series every year, give me the World Series. Oh, but the Yankees swept you 6 games. I don't care. I got the trophy. They don't. There are Ohio State fans, and I heard them on radio saying that, oh, I can't believe we lost, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, you know what? Yeah, I know winning the championship was nice, but it would have been nicer if we would have beaten them. Stop. It's all about winning a title. What have I said all along? Don't mean a ring. Don't mean a thing if you ain't got the ring. That's what you play for. You don't play. I mean, listen, you want to beat Michigan if you're Ohio State and Ohio State if you're Michigan, but come on. Fran Checkers, yeah. Listen, I know Francesa, he can be pompous and egotistical and all that, whatever, but yeah, I got to take him in doses, though. To me, he's not entertaining. He just says the same thing. And the same goes for a lot of these guys. That's why I love Russo more, because he does a national show. And to me, I'm not about New York sports anymore. I could care less. And I understand you had the Knicks and the Yankees. But to me, and that's no knock on some of the other guys that are doing their thing. But the New York sports angle, And also, yeah, the New Yorkers everywhere, Jay Reels. New Yorkers all over the country, all over the world. Yeah, I get that, but no. I used to do, when I had my show with JD back 2008 to 2013, I did a New York-centric, at the time, it wasn't even a podcast, but a New York-centric radio show. But I talked about the other things too, other teams or whatever was happening. But it was mostly like, oh, this was happening with the Mets. This was happening with the Yankees. Oh, now it's going on, Knicks, Nets, or whatever. But, yeah, that's just me. Doesn't want to give him his floor seats. I wouldn't either if I was him. But they're trying to make it to where they will only play every other season. Horrible. Oh, that's stupid. Yeah, I mean, come on. They got to play every year. Been to too many Michigan games. There was Ohio, Michigan, of course. The older my kids got, I had to step back money for their. Oh, I hear that. Yeah, that's important. I'll be on in the chat, but I don't think I have the service again on stream. So right. No, I hear you. No, I'll see what I can do, man. 100%. A lot of teams beat a team in the regular season and it's their championship. Yeah. No, there is. Well, you're a Pittsburgh fan, makes sense. Mets not good. Oh, please. Mets. Yeah, and I give you the same thing. The Ravens could beat the Steelers 50-0 this upcoming season, but if the Steelers win a Super Bowl, which, hey, listen, they're not going to. But if they do, I mean, I don't care if the Ravens beat us 100-0. We won. They did not. WNBA Toronto Tempo, NBA Toronto Raptors. Yes, Val. The Tempo. That's the WNBA team. All right, let's talk about this. Who is down tomorrow night? Sports Town Hall. Let me know. I know Waffle Liners. Now, the whole point about the Sports Town Hall is that you're going to be on camera. And I'll moderate. And unless there's something that you want to say, chime in, question, comment, whatever. But I'll moderate. I'll pass it off to you guys. I'll start off by saying, all right, whatever's happening in sports at that present moment. Now, I understand it's tomorrow, but I figured we'd have some fun with this. We could talk about certain things. And obviously, if you want to bring up certain things, you're more than your right to do so. So tomorrow night, Town Hall, I'll post it everywhere starting tonight. And maybe some of my good friends who I know that if they want to join, they could join me. Yeah, because I'm just not going to allow everybody in. Obviously, you guys, you get first dibs. But if anybody else wants to join and chime in, do so. I think I could do up to 10, if I'm not mistaken. So who's in? I see some comments. Bio's in. I will if I have good service. No, I hear that. If the Steelers win a Super Bowl, that's far-fetched. Yeah, they're not going to win. Chopping is down. Val is down. All right. So what I will do is this. Tomorrow on the live stream, on the live podcast, I'll put the link out for you guys to join. That's not to join to watch me. It's to join to be a part of it. So Val, Choppin. So Choppin, even if you have a second tomorrow, even if you're not on live, just watch the replay and get the link. Because I'll post it. Or you can hit me up if you don't happen to join. Hit me up on Instagram or whatever, and then I'm in till 9:30. All right, Rain. Because, we're so close to the front of the campground. Fingers crossed, have good service. All right. Yeah, I hear that. Oh, you going camping tomorrow? I know you said Friday you'll be camping, but all right. I hear you, J-Rod. Yeah, I think it'll be fun. As a matter of fact, let me make sure I get this right here. Hold on. Let me type this in. My notes. All right. Besides bio, J-Rod, Chosen, Ray, Val. I think Waffle Line will hop on, but I don't know if he'll join. The novice, I'll put you in there, even if you just tune in. Hey, where's our guy Mark Sammons? Where's he been? What's he been up to? Yeah, I think that's it for now. Yeah, so tomorrow, toward the end of the podcast at 12, I'll put out the link. Nah, maybe I'll start off with it. Either way, tomorrow I'll post it. What's this? I'm going to be bummed if I can't at least see tomorrow and Friday. Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, so tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Check your phone. Oh, you did, aren't we? All right, I'll check it I'm going to have to switch something in my Knicks talk. I'll show up. Oh, you got a Knicks thing? Hey, let me know, man. I want to watch it. Friday night, one of Tag Subs is opening sports talk dressed as Paul Stanley from Kiss. Oh, really? Wow. Okay. I know. I used to love Kiss as a kid, too. Love to see Waffle Iron and the Novice. Yeah, I know. When I saw Waffle Iron at the game last month, he said that he would hop on, but I don't know if he would join via video. I'll see what I could do. And the Novice, yeah, that'd be cool if he's could hop on, too. Because I think he'd want to participate in that. And Chosen, let me know when this is on so I can check that out. I am Pereira's in a Kiss cover band. Is he really? Wow, check that out. Rest in peace, Ace Frehley. Yeah, I used to love Kiss as a kid. That was one of the first albums I got as a kid. Kiss Destroyer. And then I also, I had all those early Kiss albums. I had, hold on a second. Yeah, 9 a.m. Who's in? I had Kiss Destroyer, Kiss Alive 1 and 2, Love Gun. I didn't have Kiss Kiss. No, I had Kiss Kiss. I didn't have Hotter Than Hell, though. That's the one album I did not have. And then I had Dynasty and Unmasked. But after Unmasked, that's when they started, in my eyes. Then they had The Elder. I think I even had The Elder, which wasn't great. But that's when I stopped listening to Kiss. And that's when they started taking the makeup off. So to me, it's like, the whole thing about their shtick was the makeup. Let me see. Let's see what we got here. Anything else in sports? Uh-oh. Mike McCarthy, Howard Allen to get all of Steelers QB reps versus Jets. So they're each going to have a half. Mike McCarthy's turning the keys of the Pittsburgh Steelers offense over to his young quarterbacks Friday night. Second-year signal caller Will Howard will start against the Jets, while 2026 fourth-round pick, actually it was third round, but Drew Aller will follow. Interesting. We'll have to talk about that on Steelers Latest for tomorrow. Preseason football is great for young quarterbacks on so many fronts. You want to see them command the offense, take the play entry, get up to the line of scrimmage, get in trouble, proactive, blah, blah, blah. All right. Interesting. So let's see how they perform tomorrow or Friday. Shedeur not feeling pressure over quarterback's decision. Listen, they're paying Deshaun Watson $230 million guaranteed. What's he getting? $46 million this year? And I believe it's the last year of his contract, is it not? They got to start him. Unless Shedeur is just otherworldly. When does... I think it's after this year. Deshaun Watson's contract with the Cleveland Browns runs through the end of the 2026 NFL season. He'll become an unrestricted free agent in 2027. I mean, this is it for him. If he performs terribly, he'll get a job somewhere as a backup. Now, I know he's living his lavish lifestyle. What a shame. The guy was good in college, won a national championship, had good years with the Texans, and then got into this whole nonsense with the masseuses, and forget it. 2 words, like Red Fox used to say on Sanford and Son, big dummy. Not a fan of Kiss, but he's a cool guy. His channel, he's like bios, does cards on his channel. Oh, that's cool. Tigers leading a close game. They'll lose by the end. Yeah, tomorrow I'll get into more of the baseball stuff with the wild card. You know, that's pretty much what the podcast is about. Here, I just want to throw topics at you and get your take, but let me see. Let me see where we are here real quick. AL West is a disaster. Oh my God. Let me see. Wild card. Oh my, look at this. You got Rangers, Twins, Jays, Guardians, Orioles, Tigers. 6 teams. 6 separated. 1 game. And Seattle's 3 back. But 8 under 500, which... Yeah, I said it yesterday. There's going to be the first time ever in Major League Baseball history a team's going to qualify for the playoffs under 500. Or at 500, because it hasn't been one that's been 81-81. But these teams, come on. And what's going to be interesting is that Twins, Guardians, Tigers, they're going to fight it out just amongst themselves because I'm sure they got a ton of games left on the schedule with those teams. And you have Orioles and Blue Jays that are going to play each other, I'm sure, a ton as well. The one team that can make out pretty well is Texas, because I don't believe in Seattle, but we'll see. Let me read this, just like I have a goof. I know Waffle Iron said this earlier. Ready? Jorge Polanco. His challenging first season with the New York Mets likely ended Wednesday when he was placed on the 10-day injured list with left ankle bursitis. Interim manager Andy Green said Polanco is slated to undergo surgery shortly. And people have also said to me, oh, do you want Andy Green to stay as a manager, blah, blah, blah. No offense to the guy. They got to get somebody else. Sorry. And I'm not trying to say, I don't even know who that, I told you Wally Backman, they're not going to go there, but, or Carlos Beltran, either one of those two. And then Green said before the game today against the Padres, it's gotten to the point where he just can't get freedom from the pain. He's gone out there and grinded. He wanted to post for his team, and it's at a point where now surgery is likely, or is actually his best option, and that's the direction we're headed to alleviate this. And if he has played his last game in 2026, you ready for this? Jorge Polanco batted 148, 2 homers, 6 RBIs. His OPS was 431. Among players with at least 130 plate appearances this season, only Seattle Mariners utility man Leo Rivas has a lower OPS. You know the old saying, his OPS was 431. It's better than mine, and I don't even play. Yeah, I know. And then the Mets signed Christopher Morel. The guys bounced around. Cubs. Wasn't he with the Marlins this year? Ugh, what a mess. Anyway. What else? Anything else here, people? Before I sign off, I know I have to get out of here because I got my appointment at 3. Give myself a little time. Oh, Val remembers Henry Ruggs? Yeah. Just threw his whole life away. What a terrible story. Jeez. Yeah. You big dummy indeed. And I know that's not for Henry Ruggs. That was for, yeah. Yep. You're like, why is Ewing still up? Oh, AJ Ewing, you mean? If you're referring to AJ Ewing, now listen, you got to play him out. Had an outfield assist in the game last night. He shouldn't even be here now. Oh, jeez. That was the worst signing. Ugh. Did they not see? I understand last year he had a productive year, but did they not know his injury history? Jorge gets $20 million for all that, and next year he'll be bought out. He has to. And they bought out. I said this on the podcast Monday, Chosen. If they bought out Frankie Montas at $17.5 million prior to this year, what's another $2.5 million to Steve Cohen? Buy him out next year. David Stearns. Oh, my God. Do I even need to bring his name up again? All right, my good people. So let me just recap one last thing. So tomorrow, live podcast, 11 a.m. In the 12 o'clock hour, I'll put up the link for the live stream tomorrow night. And it'll be whatever, a couple hours or however long you go. I mean, listen, I don't want to drag it out if people, just whatever. But, we'll have some fun. And I'll put out the link for everybody to copy, paste, or take a screenshot or whatever. And, I could send it to you all. In matter of fact, I could send it while we're in the, what's it called tomorrow? I just got to open up a new headline, all that, which I'll do tomorrow. But, peeps, that'll do it. Another episode, another live stream, I should say, just about the books. As always, much appreciate your support. Thank you so much for stopping by. You know how much I am grateful, thankful for you all. You know that. And look forward to tomorrow's podcast, First Things First, as well as the live stream there tomorrow night as we do our town hall. And you know how I do. In the blood and the DNA, talking sports is birth. As long as I sit in front of this microphone and camera, I promise I'll deliver nothing but passion, fire, energy, fury, my thoughts, opinions, critiques, praise, analysis, feelings on anything and everything that happens on all of the diamond, ice, gridiron, hardwood, golf course, racetrack, tennis court, boxing ring, octagon, you name it. From my lips to your ears, from my heart to your soul, from where I am to whoever you are, the J-Reels live stream always comes live, correct, directed, and full effect. From the South Bronx, the South Beach, the South Central, the South Pacific, and all points beyond. Peace, love, and God bless everybody. Enjoy the rest of your hump day. See you guys tomorrow. Looking forward to it. As always, I'll check your comments if you posted the last couple of comments before I bid adieu. But until next time, on the flip. I do see a few more comments. Chopped up the team, yes. Goodbye. Good riddance. Ruggs gets out of jail next August will be 28. And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about that, the novice? That Henry Ruggs, wasn't he on house arrest? Henry Ruggs. Oh, no. All right, so he did, right. He was on house arrest from the beginning, and then, right. And he's serving 3 years. Well, 3 to 10 years, but I think it's 3, right? I got news for you. If there is a player, if there's a team that is even thinking of signing Henry Ruggs after this, I can't blame Ruggs. I got to blame the organization. That is a PR disaster. And 28 years old, he's not. I mean, I'm sure he could probably still play. I mean, here we go. No bark. He drove his car 156 miles an hour. And I believe he was in the car with his girlfriend. And they must have had their seatbelts on. I mean, how can a guy drive almost 150 miles an hour? Sadly, the woman and the dog perish. And then Ruggs and the girlfriend don't. When they literally probably went right through the car in half. I can't even imagine that. You're driving your car and all of a sudden somebody slams into you at that. Oh, geez. I mean. Ruggs will go before the parole board again 3 months before his August 24, 2027 mandatory parole release date. What a disaster. I mean, Ruggs, come on, man. You just literally threw your life away. Yeah, here's another guy. Kidnapping and robbery charges, and look at that. He's going to get signed by another team. Our farm is super revamped. A lot of great players. Yeah, we'll see. I hope they amount to something. Exactly, buy them out. We can't even trade them for a bag. Please. We'd be lucky if we could trade them for a bag of, yeah. This is what you got. Jay, I'm reaching out. Yeah, please do so. God bless you, my brother. Thank you, man. You know that. Much appreciate you. Much appreciate it. Taking time out of your day to watch and listen. Yeah, man, hit me up. Yes, Ray, we'll check you out tonight. Every contact is your name pretty much right. And yes, Mitch Ewing. Oh, yeah, Ben's the night before. Yeah, I know. Yep. Ben's the night before. You gunned down 2 guys at the plate. Good stuff, people. Tomorrow, or anybody wants to get in contact with me, Ray, I'll check my phone. I know, like you mentioned. And, yeah, looking forward to tomorrow. It should be fun. Double dose of the sports talk. Until then, on the flip.